helmets. Today we're talking safety, information, as well as a giveaway. And it's all thanks to our special guest. Now let's make sure we give her a nice warm welcome. So what's going on, bikers? Today we got something a little different for y'all. I got a good friend here with me, and I want to introduce y'all as we're doing something different. Here I'm introducing Jessica Schwartz. She's a physical therapist, podcast host, avid cyclist, and just an all-around great person. I hope I got everything there.
Thanks for having me on, John. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to have you on and glad to be doing this. The first of this kind of video I've done on my channel, but I anticipate doing a lot more. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And it's so funny because we haven't met in person, but I feel like I know you from all your videos. So, I'm super pumped to be here.
I'm happy to hear that. And as you say that, and for those who don't know, I met Jessica through the channel, and it was our bike and it was cycling that brought us together. So, and I talk about that a lot. A lot of times on my channel, I mention how great this community is. And it's truly amazing. You meet so many wonderful people doing amazing things that motivate you and inspire you. And you're just another example of that. And on top of that, you ride a Domane. So shout out to you.
Yes, I do. Can I show her off? I at least have to show her off.
Oh, of course.
So John and I met, and I got this bike after I saw his videos, which was pretty fantastic. So there she is. She's a Domane Purple Flip, and I was asking John a bunch of questions with his, from his videos, and he really helped me out, and I felt super confident to go in and went in with the SL5.
That's awesome. And that's an amazing paint scheme too. I love that. Yes. Purple.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple. It catches people's eyes.
That's awesome. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So what is it that you do?
So I'm a physical therapist first. So doctor of physical therapy. I did my residency at NYU in New York City in orthopedics, and I'm a podcast host. And how I entreed into podcasting is a little bit backwards, but essentially I wanted to share to kind of change the concussion community and facilitate next day knowledge translation for doctors. So what happened was I was actually hit by a car in 2013, not cycling. Yeah. So, and it was an unlicensed driver, and I got concussed pretty bad, actually. So I thought it was just a concussion, and I thought I'd be, feeling foggy for a few days, maybe a headache or something. And it turned out to actually change my life. So I still live with concussion residual effects. So my vision, sensitive to certain lights like LEDs and things like that. So I said, how can I change this? While I was going through my therapy, I did 10 plus hours of therapy for over a year. PT, occupational therapy, speech therapy, neuropsychology, the whole thing. Vestibular therapy, I was dizzy. And I was a cyclist too, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get back to life. I want to get back to my bike and all that jazz. So so I entreed into concussion education and just putting good sound information out there that's free, open access for people. So while I'm supposed to educate doctors and healthcare professionals, it trickles down to folks like yourself, because there's so much free information out there about safety and like helmets and things like that. So just my passion kind of keeps me moving in 2021.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm glad that you're doing better and, in your continued recovery. And, that kind of leads me to a question. So there's a lot of new cyclists now, and a lot of my subscribers are, just starting out and getting into cycling. And I get this question asked a lot is, do I need a helmet? So we want to expound on that and what your thoughts and knowledge is on helmets.
Absolutely. So 100%, 1000%, you need a helmet. If you're going to ride a bike, a skateboard, a scooter, you've got to have a helmet. It's 2021. And, if we take it from an old school perspective, helmets prevent skull fractures. They help prevent traumatic brain injuries. And concussions, which a lot of people don't know, are actually a form of traumatic brain injury. They are something called a mild traumatic brain injury.
Wow.
So with that being said, yes, so concussions affect everything that you are, right? So, and as a person who's lived with a concussion with persistent symptoms for years, I say, especially when you're going through the acute phase, the early on phase of your concussion as a patient, not as a doctor. So Dr. Jess can say all this stuff, but patient Jess lived through all this stuff.
Right.
And with that being said, concussion affects your I am. So I am cyclist, like this is a cycling channel, right? So hi to everybody out there. Right. I am cyclist. I am funny. I am mother, father, police officer, physical therapist, doctor, teacher, whatever it is you are. It affects your I am, and it affects it in all of those capacities. So with helmets can prevent or mitigate the forces that cause concussion. And a big misnomer is that you have to hit your head to have a concussion, and it's actually not true. So if you ever, were in a bar and you had a little bit too many, or you slipped or something like that, and you fell off a bar stool, and people can kind of relate to that sensation of falling really hard on your butt, you can actually get a concussion that reverberates from your pelvis all the way up your spine to your head, and that can actually cause a concussion. So concussion is really any blow, bolt, or jolt to the head, neck, or body. So that's really confusing for people, but that's kind of like a clean fall. Like when you started to clip in, how were you when you clipped in? Did you fall off the bike at all? Or exactly. It's ugly. It's going to be ugly.
Right.
For me, I fell 3 times on the first day and a guy actually saw me fall twice in a row as I was trying to clip in going up a hill. It was not a wise decision. This was like 2009 when I started biking, but but those are kind of pretty falls, right? They're relatively controlled. You kind of know you're going down. You can kind of reach out or try to do something. But in other cases, with when it comes to like a crash, like cyclist to cyclist, or cyclist to car, or cyclist to ice or road, we've all been there. We've all slipped on some leaves, and that your heart rate goes up. Those are things that we really don't have a lot of control over, and those are when you really want to make sure you have a 5-star rated bicycle helmet on your head, and it has nothing to do with masculinity or being cool. You want to make sure you protect your head because you have one brain.
No, definitely, and I'm glad you said that too, because I think a lot of people, especially us guys, don't like to wear helmets. May think it's not cool, or maybe you're soft or not. You're not a tough guy or whatever. And I'm telling you, like that could be further from the truth. I wear a helmet every time I ride, and I actually think it looks cooler than not wearing a helmet. Especially you can, customize it or get different color schemes that match your outfit. So if you wanna look cool, put a helmet on.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's the same thing for women. They don't want to mess up their hair or things like that. But again, really, at the end of the day, I just think about it. Think about your day-to-day life. Think about kind of where you get your paycheck from. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but most of us aren't independently wealthy, right? So, we're working for a paycheck. We've got to pay the bills. We've got a mortgage, rent. You've got kids. You've got dogs. You got bike equipment to pay for. Right. Because we're all in the same boat. So, it's just a matter of, you've got one brain, so why not protect it? And it's something so simple that really doesn't cost much, and we'll talk about that later on. And there really is a lot of good education out there with independently tested bike helmets, and it has nothing to do with cost or anything like that. So we'll talk about all that later on.
All right. Well, as you bring that up, what is a good helmet to buy, or how do I know? Especially for someone who's just starting out to the sport, may not have too much knowledge on helmet. I know I want to protect myself, but how do I know if I'm properly protecting myself? Because not all helmets are created the same, and there's so many different variants as far as price points on helmets. Do I just go for the most expensive helmet, or how am I able to figure that out?
That's a great question, and thank you for that. It's a softball question, and it's perfect because I don't know if I'm aging myself, but do you remember the crash test dummies back in the day?
I do.
That commercial. Okay, so I might age myself if you have some younger viewers, but So basically, there is an independent testing community that's like basically they're really, really smart people in physics and biomechanics and forces, and they study this. What is interesting is that when people are, when companies are making their helmets, there's no standardized way to test how they're testing their helmets. So that has nothing to do with price, comfort, lightness, things like that. They're doing their own builds with these companies. What's great about independently tested products, is that the company is not researching their own product and then they're telling you it's the safest thing, because we've right. seen historically how that's a bad thing, even with vaccines and things like that now. So very comparable to the same kind of algorithm and science that goes into testing cars with 5-star ratings. Virginia Tech biomechanics lab down in Virginia Tech, they have formulated this standardized approach to testing bicycle helmets, and actually all types of helmets. So I'll actually can I share the screen with the folks?
Sure, of course.
Cool? Yeah, so we'll provide a link for this, but it's essentially bit.ly/Virginia Tech helmets, and we'll put all this in the show notes and such. But this is the website. And listen, if you're a parent or a coach or a neighbor or just a good citizen, and if you have family or kids playing football, hockey, soccer, or if you're a weekend warrior, youth football, because adult and youth helmets are different, and even flag football, that's confusing to folks, and even soccer, because we're talking about headbands with soccer. But basically, this is an unbiased helmet rating situation. So basically what they do is Dr. Stefan Duma down at Virginia Tech has PhD students, and they make their PhD dissertation a helmet. So they spend years studying these helmets one by one. So what I'll do, John, is I'll show you the hockey helmets real quick. And I know this is a cycling channel, but they've studied 57 hockey helmets. And I bring this up because it was not until 2 or 3 years ago, I think everything with COVID, the years are skewed for me these days. I feel like we lost 2020, but right. There were 0 5-star rated hockey helmets, even for the NHL, like professional athletes. And those hockey players are covered in gear, right? From, protecting their thighs and their shins and the whole thing. So basically how it works is 5-star is the best available, and 0 stars, it's actually not recommended. So and to tell you the truth, I think there was only a maximum 3-star helmet for even our professional athletes. So I'm just going to scroll down, and sorry to scroll quickly, but I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom. And there are a ton of actually 0-star recommended hockey helmets. And this is what was on the market, right? So can you imagine if you had a kid, if you're a weekend warrior or a college athlete, playing hockey, a lot of these folks could be, wearing these $130 helmets that are actually not recommended, $160, even $260. It's an actually not recommended 0-star helmet. So what I'll do is I'll take us to the cycling component now. And they've studied up until April 2021, they've studied 119 bike helmets thus far. And what's pretty cool is that they actually break them down by road, urban, mountain, skate, and snow certified helmets.
Okay.
So I don't know. I can't imagine riding in the snow, John.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
That's a video I don't think I'm going to be making.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. So that's it for here. So do you have any questions about the helmets or anything like here that I can help you with?
Yeah. So when you go on the site, how is it ranked? I see a score and I see a number.
Yep.
How's that broken down?
So really great question. So essentially, the lower the score, the better. So it's kind of like track. The faster the time is how you win the race, right? Okay. So it's the opposite of what you might think. So the lower the score, the safer the helmet. Okay. So 5-star helmets, and there's a bunch of them in cycling. And it has nothing to do with price. So what's really important here is that you can see the top 5 rated helmet right now as of April 2021, and these change, from week to week, month to month, because these PhD students are doing their research. is $50. You can get a 5-star rated helmet for $50. And so
Wow.
yes, I mean, it's, I don't know how much your helmet was, but mine wasn't $50. And yeah.
Yeah, mine was a lot more than that, and that's crazy to think that you may skip over a $50 helmet, thinking that you're buying something that's safer to protect yourself, and you're actually spending more money for something that's rated lower than a $50 helmet.
Exactly. So in cycling, I know we buy expensive gear, but when it comes to safety, you know, it's really about just knowing this website and knowing that these were independently tested. These guys do not take any money, anything. They actually buy the helmets themselves, you know, from a store that we would buy, you know, a helmet from as well. So yeah, it's pretty fantastic. And I mean, you can scroll for days. There's 119 helmets that you can choose from, and really they range from $50 to $300. And again, you can just go scroll by you know, by rating.
Okay. So I know Trek has the new Wave Cell helmet,
Right.
and I know a lot of people have been talking about that, and you know, I've seen those a lot on people. You got any information on the Wave Cell helmet or the Trek in general?
I do. So the Wave Cell helmet, as of today, is still a 5-star rated helmet at 10.8. This is they tested the $150 helmet, so the basic Wave Cell helmet from Trek Montranger, and that 2 years ago, and this is interesting how fast things change, right? 2 years ago,
Okay.
that was a number 1 rated helmet at 10.8, and then so fast forward 2 years, and all of these PhD students doing their research, they've actually found safer helmets than that. And I'm very cautious about that, because a 5-star rated helmet is a 5-star rated helmet. They're excellent. So really, any that you
Right.
choose, Virginia Tech recommends 4 or 5-star rated helmets and things. But at this point, you know, I really just endorse the 5-star rated helmet, because there's so many options to choose from, and from you know, top of the price point to $50. So there's really you really can't go wrong with a 5-star rated helmet.
Awesome. So, you know, I'm very serious about safety and, you know, being outside. I do want people to come outside, but we have to do it safely. And I know you're passionate about, you know, safety, and to show that you're so passionate about it, you know, you wanted to do a giveaway. So
Yeah.
For the viewers here, can you talk about your giveaway and what you're doing and what you're promoting, and also where to go to win, most importantly?
Sure, of course. So I've partnered with Trek, actually. I get no money from Trek. It's, you know, it's completely independent. It's just to kind of give away and promote this education out there of like, hey, there are safe spaces to go, like the Virginia Tech helmet rating website, which we'll provide in the show notes at bit.ly/Virginia Tech helmets. And we're going to give away 3 Trek Wave Cell helmets. And what's pretty cool about it, let me bring that up for you guys. Is that you can actually choose any helmet that you like. So any color, anything like that. What's cool about the Trek Wave Cell helmet that you see here is they actually have this like honeycomb layer, which is different than most foam helmets. So we can put a link into the Wave Cell helmet. And it says kind of like what I delivered as well, is you only have one brain, and that is true. So you have a very comparable foam helmet that most people have or are used to. But then you also have this heavily researched honeycomb layer inside the helmet, and that really attenuates forces. And they found that actually can mitigate concussion risk by, you know, very high numbers. So basically what happened is that the helmet flexes, it crumples, and it glides. So there's some cool videos that they have where they actually show them putting an egg in a helmet, dropping the helmet, you know, getting hit pretty hard, and the egg yolk doesn't break. And I think that's a really powerful visual. Yeah, because that's really what our brains are. Our brains are in this hard shell with sharp edges called our skull inside.
Right.
And it's exactly like an egg yolk. So I'll just scroll down here, and again, we can give away any helmet that's a Wave Cell helmet. This is the helmet here that is was the one actual studied. They studied this one, but we can give away any helmet, any color, adult to youth, from the Triple X road bike helmet, which is a little bit lighter, at $300, you know, all the way down to the youth helmets. So really, whatever helmet your people would like is what we are going to give away. And what's really great also is that they'll deal directly with me, but then I'll actually put them in direct contact with Trek, and we'll get the address out. And usually within a week, they get a new helmet. So it's cycling season. So, you know, let's do it right.
Right. Awesome. So that's great. You know, and I appreciate you being able to come out here and share that with my viewers and giving them the opportunity to not only win something, but to win something that promotes safety and promote them being safe.
Right.
So I can't thank you enough.
You. Yeah, I appreciate you for having me on, and it's been such a pleasure getting to know you too over the last, you know, almost year at this point, because I reached out to you last year about the Damane. And we'll put the giveaway instructions in the show notes for sure. We're going to be, so your viewers are going to have 3 to 4 chances to win, which is nice. So the more they enter, the more chances they'll win. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So what we'll have you do is have you like and comment on a post, tag 2 friends, and just say John sent me. And then we'll make sure I'll put you in the random number generator. So if you comment on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, those are 3 places. And if you come over to YouTube as well and like the podcast there, I'll enter them as well. So yeah. Awesome.
So, you know, again, I can't thank you enough, and I'm glad to be able to give the viewers this opportunity. You know, it's something we should do this again. This is actually pretty fun. You know, and as I say that, if you have any questions for Jessica, helmet, concussion, you know, health questions, anything like that, leave them in the comments below. And what we'll do is we'll probably come back and maybe go over some of those questions and answer some of the questions that people may be having. So we can continue to promote safety, not only in cycling, but just in our everyday lives.
Yeah, happy to answer any questions you guys might have. You know, how do I get my husband, my wife, my kid to wear a helmet? You know, we'll work it out. But what's cool is that Trek has awesome colors and things to choose from. So by all means, you know, I really hope that your listeners tune in and hey, check the helmet that you have. Go to that Virginia Tech website at bit.ly/Virginia Tech helmets and see if your helmet's on there and see where your helmet rates. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of like really expensive helmets that are like 2 and 3 star rated. So I think that would be pretty cool for your folks to check out.
Awesome. So again, all that information is going to be in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to like it. Subscribe so you can be notified when I drop new videos. And again, we're going to have Jessica back on again, so you don't want to miss that. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Thanks again, Jessica, and talk to you soon.